This is Infection, the survival podcast recorded live on Tuesday, August 13th, 2019, episode 239. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of Infection, the survival podcast. Infection is your source for the latest information on survival video games. We bring you the latest news, reviews, updates, and more each and every week. My name is Nick Craig. You can follow me on Twitter at Nicholas M. Craig. Check out my Gab at Nick. And, of course, our website for all show notes, news, links, information, Discord, YouTube, podcast is infectionpodcast.com. Joining me from the great state of Idaho, not Idaho, Idaho, Brian with an I, Aldrich. Hi, Brian.
Hello. Hey, if you want to find me at Boise Computer on Twitter, of course, my blog, biteoftech.com. And of course, as Nick said, we have our website, infectionpodcast.com. And if you look on the right-hand side there, we have links to most of the important things. First of all, our Discord server. If you're wanting to join us, maybe submit news throughout the week, hang out, discuss, play some games with us, play games on the weekends usually. You can click that. It has a web-based version, has an app version for your phones or tablets, and it has a desktop version that's very lightweight, so it's all free. Also, we have our Steam group if you want to get a notification before the live show starts, and that's really helpful. If you happen to be sitting at your computer and you want to participate in the banter that goes back and forth, or perhaps to get into the game giveaway, you can join the Steam group, and you'll be able to join us live. We have on there a YouTube link, a Twitch link, all the audio forms, so whatever kind of platform you want to listen to us on, and then show notes for every single episode that we've done up to this point. Also, if you want to support us financially, one way that you can do that is on the left-hand side, we have a tab that says support us. You can do that through either Amazon. If you're going to be purchasing something through Amazon, you just click that link. Also, you can type in amazon.infectionpodcast.com, and that'll take you right there. And then we have our Humble Bundle. And I think if you do humble.infectionpodcast.com, something like that, but you can click on the website to get there as well. And if you happen to be, maybe you have a monthly subscription to the Humble Bundle package they have, or there's a particular one you're looking at, that'll give us proper credit, and it won't cost you anything more, and you'll be able to just help fund our things like packs. I mean, that's mainly what we do. Our biggest thing is the Amazon Prime. Prime, we go through, and people are very good. One nice thing is in the Discord, if you are in our Discord and you're subscribed to us on Twitch through Prime, you'll get a special role that's makes your name yellow. And that's a really good reminder for people when their subscription runs out. They can go and resubscribe. So that's one of the main reasons for that, is because it kind of gives people a heads up. People are very good about doing that every month. That definitely has paid for. We just submitted our final payment for our Airbnb. So like, that cost is all paid for, and it's all because of you guys doing those types of subscriptions and supporting us through the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, we really can't we can't underestimate not underestimate. We can't what's the word I'm looking for? We can't really explain how much this has helped going forward with our trips that are coming up with packs. I mean, it really, in the past couple, it's so much different, and I'll go off on my little soliloquy here. It's just so much different when, in the years past, not that we've begged for money, Brian, because that's not the case, but when you've got people that are directly giving you money for a trip, the amount of pressure on us, at least on me, was we have got to come back with rockstar content, because these people shelled out their hard-earned money for us to go to this convention, and not that we're going to slack off this year. It just is a different. It's just not stress that we have to worry about.
It's more relaxed.
How do we, in the past years, it's been, how much out of pocket do we have to pay to get to this show? And fortunately this year, it's only going to be flights. We should be able to take Ubers around back and forth to the show.
Yeah, it'll pay for the Ubers.
And it won't,
I think we'll do
meals.
One dinner that we pay for for the people that came there. We'll look at where the funds are at. I mean, so it's pretty much paid for everything except for those flights. And who knows, maybe someday it'll pay for the flights.
Yes. So we just really can't underestimate the amount that helps. So thanks to everybody that has come in with those. And I do want to thank our friend Bobby J as well as our friend Falcon's Watch, for hitting us up. Bobby J just a little bit before the show, but our buddy Falcon sometime over the week. So I guess he listened to the podcast after the fact and hit us with the subscription on that. So thank you, Falcon. Thank you, Bobby J. We greatly appreciate it. Brian, before we get going here, I want to share an image with you. And for people that aren't in our Discord, this is the type of high quality content that you're missing out on. This is me.
This is the Infection podcast behind the scenes.
Yes, this is me. This is me getting ready to load up the excavator that I was working with a good chunk of the day. I'll tell you what, it was hot and humid. You like this hat? Yeah. I mean, this is like full on farmer hat. I mean, I'm rocking the farmer's hat on that one.
All right, you got to make sure you don't get sunburned because
my arms are beating red. So my arm, I'm very sunburned, but. This is the high quality content that you get out in our Discord. Farmer Nick, as Jay Delory says. Yes, absolutely. Farmer Nick. Digging up dirt on guy posts on a 1,500-foot radio tower. Really exciting stuff. So
nice.
Didn't knock the tower down, which is what we which was what we were trying not to do. So mission accomplished.
Very good.
Okay. It was a little bit of a slow survival news week, Brian.
Yeah. I mean, I dug around, and there's just a lot of games did not update this week.
Yes. Oh, and I do want to say something quickly. There is a 7 Days to Die Alpha 18. I don't know what they call them, the beta tests or whatever that they're doing, and they're looking for people.
I mean, they're alphas, but
yeah, you're right. Sorry, but they do like a pre-alpha for streamers, and I would like to stream that. You have to submit a video, so this is going to be part of my video submission. So if they in fact accept us for that, there's a possibility that that's not a possibility. If they approve us, we will do that this weekend. So I'll stream that this weekend for a little while with it's alpha. I think we're testing alpha 18.
18, yeah. So that means that they would be releasing however many weeks after that. They should be doing the regular release of alpha 18.
Yeah. So I hopefully
because they did say that they're wanting to not spread those tests. I mean, because we had the one that lasted a year and something.
Yeah, like 500 days or something crazy.
It was a long time, and so I think after that one they said, hey, we're not going to try to jam pack so much so that we can put out more regular updates, and this is showing that. So if they're going to put this one out, that's a much shorter time than last time.
Hopefully I can get access to that and we can play that this weekend. So we'll see what happens from the 7 Days to Die folks with that. Outside of that, I don't know of any other housekeeping before we jump into some news here. I'd like to start with a topic, Brian, if you will, that
sure.
We talked about last week, which was Ninja's jump to Mixer and some of the criticism following that. Now, there's a report months ago, and we talked about on the show that he was making upwards of $500,000 a month, his income when he was streaming on Twitch. So all we can assume is that Mixer offered him a pretty lucrative deal, and which would be smart for them to do so. With that being the case, lots of criticism. Twitch super butthurt. They removed, which I can understand, because he as much as he was making, they were making probably 30% of it on subs and donations and bits and everything. So they're missing out on. I mean, it could be $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 plus a month, depending on how much that worked out to. So with that being said,
plus a lot of media exposure. I mean, that's one thing too.
Exposure, yeah.
With all the things he was doing, he was on the news, and they would say Twitch, and that is being taken away along with all that money.
So the super butthurt, they actually did something that they've never done for anybody else. When you go to twitch.tv/ninja, which is his channel, it's still the top purple bar on Twitch still shows that you're on his channel, but unlike anybody else's page, when you're offline, there's no video player, and there's a directory of other people playing Fortnite. Now, in my estimation, this is just really scummy of Twitch. I mean, it's just they haven't done this with it. But first of all, it's their platform, so they frankly can do whatever the hell they want. But from my aspect, if I was Ninja, and he's stated this now, that they're using his brand and his name, because you're going to twitch.tv/ninja. It still has his logo. They're using his brand and his name to promote other channels. And Twitch made a huge mistake this week because it's auto recommending channels. The top channel for a period of time earlier this week was literally porn. Like nothing, not one of these Twitch streamers that do things suggestively. Literally somebody streaming porn on Twitch under the Fortnite category, and it was the first suggested stream to watch, and the thumbnail was a completely naked woman with a gentleman. It wasn't like it was a shady thumbnail or anything. It was full on pornography, and it was the first thing on Ninja's channel, the first recommended stream. And
welcome to Twitch 2019.
Rightfully so. He is effing pissed. I mean, he put a Twitter video. I'm not going to play it because you could go watch it yourself. But he essentially said, "This is my brand, and you guys are, and I have a younger audience, and you are literally recommending them porn." And he's not wrong. I mean, that was absolutely what it was recommending. So Twitch came out.
Because people that are going directly to his link, which probably happens with the total number of viewers he has. There's people that will continue just to click that to see where he's at.
Well, it's a bookmark too.
If they're then showing you, say, okay, he's not here, but we want to capitalize on the fact that you came here. We're going to show you suggested content, and it's something that really is bad. Like that, Twitch is totally responsible for that. And I'm assuming that they're going to. I don't know if it's still doing that. I looked a couple days ago.
No, they said they're going to curate. I believe is the word they used. They're going to curate content. I can show you this. Somebody uploaded this on Twitter, and they've blocked out what needs to be blocked out. But this is what it was. I mean, without describing it, she's laying down on her back and is getting the business. So, I mean, and this is the top recommended channel on Ninja's page.
Yeah, so now it just goes back. They've reversed this, and it just goes back to the normal Twitch Ninja is offline page
for a period of time.
What they were trying to prevent was the fact that it said mixer.com/ninja is what it says on the title of his video.
Yep. There's people in chat right now. Do you see that? I'm in his chat. It's a follow-only chat. There's people posting.
Yeah, there's people chatting.
A whole bunch of people.
I'm assuming that is, it says watch me on YouTube. Like he's got things saying going other places.
There are hundreds of people in this chat room. I'm scrolling. It's just a never-ending list. There's probably thousands of people in his chat room right now. It's just incredible. So
for an offline channel.
For an offline channel. He hasn't streamed to Twitch in 3 weeks. So yeah, a little bit of drama.
The thing is that's follower only chat.
Yeah.
So all these people chatting. I mean, I guess all you can do is hit follow. I'm not a follower, so it won't let me do it. But yeah, these are all just people sitting there and doing looks like just a bunch of emojis.
They're writing things in emotes.
Yes, secret language.
So Twitch has covered their ass and they've turned it back to his channel, but I would imagine it will be only a period of time before it's something similar to this.
They'll probably pick and choose
minus the pornography.
Curated streamers that they've worked out some sort of thing with, saying, "Hey, we're going to promote you," kind of like the front page. I mean, if you look at the front page, they have it's those people know exactly when they're going to be on the front page.
Yes,
they know when they're going to drop off the front page. I think they're just making something like that specifically for Fortnite.
Yeah, and rightfully so, it came back and bit them in the ass, which is what they deserve. So
yeah, it was probably them just being a little bit butthurt about it.
Well, yeah, I mean they're clearly butthurt. I mean they removed his channel verification. How do you remove his verification? He's no longer a verified channel.
Well, and one thing, so he is breaking their terms of service of a partner, which he's no longer trying to be a partner. He's not trying to make money off of it. He's not, because you're not allowed to stream on other services as a partner.
Yeah.
But if you look up there, all he has is a follow button now. There is no option to do anything else.
No.
So he's not breaking those terms of services. He should be able to keep that regular account there doing whatever he wants with it.
And by the way,
have to do anything with it.
His banner image, his back offline image has not changed. It's not a big old image that says I'm on Mixer now. The only thing that says Mixer is his title.
Yeah.
So he could be a lot worse about this. For people that maybe follow this, it's of some interest. When Howard Stern got ready to move from terrestrial radio to Sirius XM in 2006, he was under a similar thing. He could not say on the radio where he was going. But obviously everybody knew it wasn't secret, and they talked about it, but he couldn't say the name, right? He couldn't say Sirius on the radio show. So it's something similar to that, but he could be he could be a real scumbag about this, and he's not. He's really not. He could be like the whole damn thing could be just Mixer this. His logo could say Mixer. His offline image could say Mixer. Everything could say Mixer. And the only thing that says Mixer is his title. And you can't criticize him for that because there's literally thousands of people in his chat right now. So he's been, again, I don't really care one way or the other about Ninja, but he could have been very scummy about this. And then whatever happened would have happened. But they instantly removed his channel verification. And then, as he said, were promoting his brand with other streamers, and then in fact promoted pornography to children. Yeah. So Twitch stepped in it big time, and they get what they deserve, which is criticism, because that's the deal.
Yeah.
So,
and hey, lesson learned. I mean,
I hope
this was their biggest streamer. I think.
I would say their biggest consistent streamer. Yeah. I mean, obviously their tournaments draw sometimes bigger things, but the guy that streams all the time, Ninja.
And it'll be interesting to see how many people and how this is going to affect Twitch in the long run, as far as, is this going to be a continuing thing for Mixer to do? Are they going to try to keep pulling the biggest names? If they find that Ninja was successful as far as bringing people to the platform, are they going to continue to pull some of these streamers until there's really nothing left? I mean, as far as, of course, people will dissipate to others, and maybe other streamers will get bigger. But if they're going to continue pulling the talent, just trying to get rid of the biggest names, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this is in the corporate world. This is more well known as headhunting, which is a very common practice in business. And by the way, Epic is doing something similar of headhunting, essentially with games. Yeah. But in corporate life, headhunting, there are firms that
developers. I mean, they do that all the time with developers.
Yeah. So firms, you as a company, pay a firm a lot of money if they're successful. You headhunt, and you go and you find the best guy that works at your competition, maybe, and you bring them over. You convince them to come work for you. And there's agencies, headhunting agencies, that's their gig. That's what they do. And business can do headhunt themselves. Very common practice. Epic is doing something very similar with gaming. Very common practice. Mixer's going to do the same thing with Twitch streamers. You just offer them a better deal than they have. I mean, that's the long and the short of it. I mean,
I still think that their limitation is this whole Twitch Prime thing. I just don't see how these streamers are going to get as consistent of money as the Twitch Prime thing is offering from something like Mixer, unless Microsoft is working up other avenues of bringing them income. I don't know.
They're going to probably pay them a salary.
Yeah. I mean that seems like that would be the only way that they're going to compete, because if you look at these Twitch Primes, I mean, they just sit there and farm Twitch Primes all day on Twitch.
Yeah. But again, Twitch is paying for those anyway. So let's be honest about it. Like, the streamers are getting that money. It's coming out of thin air.
But the thing is you're paying them something up front. And so they're kind of saying, okay, well, a portion of that you're paying them yearly is going towards this one thing. What are you paying to Microsoft?
I don't know. So I guess their interim solution is pay people.
If they get high quality enough ads, if they feel like they're getting better content to where they get better ads, maybe that's what it is. Twitch has to be struggling with ads.
Well, everybody's struggling with
advertise on Twitch.
Well, everybody's struggling with ads because of ad block. I mean, I try my best, and I'm not trying to sound like the holier than thou, but I try my best on websites I support to not run ads, and to turn off my ad blocker if I can, if it's usable. But on Twitch I don't, because they play freaking 70 ads an hour, on the damn page. And I actually don't have ad block on Mixer right now because I'm trying to get used to how that whole process works. So
I've had it where on Twitch, like it gets into an endless ad cycle. I've had it to where it's done like 7 ads in a row and it won't leave it until I refresh the page.
Yeah, I mean, so Twitch has got their problems. Who said that? Jay Delory said, I don't think Mixer can afford to keep buying big streamers. I don't care who owns them. And PH says Microsoft has unlimited money. Microsoft is kind of in the situation where they can. I mean, there are reports that they paid Ninja upwards of $100 million to move, which you may think impossible. But when you think about what he was previously making from Twitch and the exposure that he's going to be giving that he's going to be giving Mixer in the future, plus the length of the contract, which I'm sure is a couple of years.
Yeah.
It's really not that much money when you really think about it. I mean, this guy was already making upwards of probably $20 million a year, if not more. So if you look at $20 million a year, if they paid him $100 million, or that's his contract, like a sports player, $100 million over, Jay Delory saying it's over 6 years. I mean, that's really not a whole lot when you break it down.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the platform to offer, as you said, Brian, the Twitch subs or the Amazon Prime Twitch subs. Well,
and that's where I think they're going to try to have better content. I mean, one thing is we talked, I think, last week about their difference in even the clothing rules. So they're putting more restrictions of you can't go half naked, you can't do all this stuff. I bet you that they're trying to maintain a more advertiser friendly platform.
Absolutely.
That Twitch has kind of left, and I think Twitch is probably struggling to get those high quality advertisers when some of their primary streamers now are body painters, people that are dancing on screen, scantily clad.
Booty shorts is fine, Brian. It's not an issue.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I just can't imagine that's helping them to pull in those high quality advertisers that are wanting to remain family friendly, where Mixer, I don't think will have that struggle.
No, and they do allow more crazy streams, but unlike Twitch, they have got three tiers of people. They've got a family friendly teen and 18 plus. So they're setting themselves up for, as you said, high quality. People that are buying network ads on television need to be able to be buying ads on sites like Mixer. So if Microsoft invests a couple $100 million into pulling people over, nobody's going to be anywhere as near as big as Ninja. So they may have shelled out a whole lot for him. Nobody else will be close. I mean, for some of these smaller streamers, you can throw them way less, in the hundreds of thousands of dollars for a deal, and they'll move. So they can absolutely
give me $1,000 a month, and we'll switch.
Actually, absolutely. We need more than that, Brian. We split $2,000 a month. That'll pay a couple things. Actually, that's $5,000 a month. That's our new deal. That's our beginning term for
that's our official stance.
The Infection Podcast.
That's the official amount that it would cost to buy us out.
Yeah, I wouldn't have to work, at least temporary. I wouldn't have to do my full-time job. How about that? So yes, let's do that. $5,000 for us to move over to the evil empire of Mixer. So that's the news. That's what's going on. He's actually live now, or he was before the show. Let me see if he's still live. Mixer.com. He is, in fact, live right now. Fortnite all day. He appears to be at some sort of. No, maybe he's home. He's got. It's in some weird full. It loaded a mobile page. Boy, this is backfired.
He got what, 20,000? So he's just got just under 20,000 live viewers right now.
20,000, which is a lot less than he had on Twitch. Way less. So we'll see.
So they got on here. Claim your free subscription to Ninja.
Yes, they're doing that. I think it's 2 months they're doing.
All right, I might as well claim it.
Congratulations.
I'm now subscribed.
So now he's streaming there now. He's already got 9 million views on his channel. So I mean, he's doing just fine. So there you go. That's the latest.
Well, very good. We'll see. We'll
Yes,
see
sir.
how it unfolds.
Absolutely.
So we got a lot of crazy news this week of things that just for me that were unsuspected. First of all, LootCrate has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
What's LootCrate?
So LootCrate is a service where each month they were supposed to be sending you a kind of a crate, a box that had a lot of nerd type
culture
of items in it. Yeah, nerd culture items. So you'd have little figurines, you'd have shirts, you'd have things that were linked to maybe TV shows, movies, games. All these things would be in there, and you would pay a certain amount, and it would just be a mixture of various items. Now, we had Firebomb in our chat talking about how for months they weren't sending him anything. Like he was subscribed, and they were backlogged months on sending him anything.
It's expensive too, man. It's almost like $30 a month, I think.
Yeah, I mean that one right there is $25 a month
plus shipping and handling
for that.
So $32.
Yeah, and then plus shipping handling, and they have various levels of it. So you could even get a bigger crate than that.
Yeah.
And so this was something that, sure, if you're really into that, like you're building up a collection of things and you want to have maybe a bunch of stuff behind you on your desk, this would be pretty cool. But obviously they were struggling to, I guess, make money off of it. I don't know. It's maybe the things were costing them too much money. They couldn't get enough because obviously people were wanting them. I mean, it's not like they weren't having enough customers because Firebomb wasn't even able to get a crate.
Yeah.
So there had to be something else going on.
Well, I think it's a couple things. First, they've been for years now. They've been I don't know if they've been paying, but they've been investing a lot into YouTube specifically. Lots of YouTube ads. Now, some creators like ourselves, well, we do ads for Humble Bundle. We're on an affiliate program, meaning we sell stuff, we get paid. But for larger YouTubers and larger Twitch streamers, they don't do affiliates. You have to pay, they're getting paid a base whatever, and then maybe they have an affiliate rate on top of that. And LootCrate has advertised on some pretty large channels that I would be dumbfounded if those channels were accepting just an affiliate barter for LootCrate. So they're making some money on it. And USAF Zombie points out a lot of that stuff. These aren't like garbage tier things they're sending you. So for $25, you get at minimum a t-shirt, which, I mean, you can only get the cost of a t-shirt down so low. I mean, even at its lowest price, you're still spending maybe $5 on a t-shirt, and they're decent quality. It's not junk.
Yeah.
So maybe $5 on a t-shirt minimum, and they say it's at least $45 plus worth of value. Typically, it's some type of drink or liquid holder, coffee cup, shot glass, thing like that, and then maybe some stickers or a decal or a flag, a patch that you could sew to a jacket, stuff like that. It's not garbage. I just assume there's no overhead, Brian. Once you ship it and pay staff, you're just not making enough per crate. This is something that every business struggles with, and you ran your own small business. It was IT maybe a little bit different, but it's all about dealing with overhead and margins.
No,
I mean, you can't.
And I wonder how much of this has to do with they were expecting maybe these companies to give them these products a little bit cheaper because in a way it's advertising. And maybe these companies are like, well, we don't need to give you this at a discounted rate. I mean, maybe they were struggling with that because they're giving away things that are very pop culture. And at that point, they don't need advertising anymore. And there's some of these are for shows that are no longer exist, or that are no longer running. Breaking Bad. I mean, that was the one that showed up there.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're advertising saying we want to, get the Breaking Bad brand out there more. So I'm assuming that they're not getting these things at a high discount.
Yeah, I'm trying to look. I've never bought one of these. I came very close a whole bunch of times. So here's another one. So here's the middle of their page. So the base loot crate is $24. The loot anime crate, which is obviously all anime and whatnot, is $29. The loot gaming crate, which is all gaming stuff, is $29, and then they've got one called Loot Wear, which apparently is either a drawstring bag, a t-shirt, boxers, socks, something like that, is $12 a month. So I mean, you're looking at as cool as the gaming and anime one are, what is the overhead on selling something for $30? T-shirts are not cheap. Decent t-shirts are not inexpensive.
And these figurines, I mean, those things are pretty expensive to even make. They're expensive.
So I would assume if I use my thinking cap, Brian, it's just an overhead issue, and it's a margin. So there's just not enough more. You realistically need to be in a 80 to 60% margin rate to be making money. And if in the case, these people are probably under half, which is a huge.
And they laid off 50 employees, so they have 60 now. So they had 110 employees at the time of the bankruptcy.
Yeah. So it's just not enough margin. I mean, they probably weren't making a 40% margin on this stuff, and that's way too low. Way too low. You can't afford it. It's just too expensive. Even at the scale that they were doing, very popular. A whole bunch of people subscribed. You just still can't make it work. There's just not enough cash.
Here's some of the issues that are causing this.
Okay.
So they have, it says $20 million in sales yet to ship. They reportedly owe more than $30 million in trade debt and nearly $6 million behind in sales tax.
Oof. Yeah, sales tax will be your problem for sure.
Yes. So this is where they're really, I mean, they haven't been paying the things that they're supposed to be paying.
I bet you they're not charging tax on these because they're internet. And they haven't been charging. This has always been a kind of a gray line for things.
But that's been changing recently. Maybe that's what has started this downhill thing is, I mean, you remember Amazon started charging sales tax. Yeah. These various states have started saying you need to pay sales tax on internet stuff. Well, they probably weren't counting that in. And plus, whatever trade debt. So I'm assuming, I'm not sure.
No, trade debt is because they buy the stuff from a company. That's what I would assume trade debt is. You buy it from the figurine you buy and or license from Warner Brothers or wherever. Put it in your box. That's trade debt. You owe them either licensing fees or whatever.
Yeah.
PH brings up the fact that when you go to buy something with a t-shirt, you can get t-shirts from small to, depending on the shirt, XXXX large and in men's and women's. So you're talking about having to produce 14 shirts for one box. You have to have 14 different shirts in stock. Hey-oh, that's expensive, man. Super expensive.
I think if they can find, because PH posted an email that he received saying that they're being acquired by this Money Chest LLC to hopefully be able to ship out and get things caught up. But I mean, maybe this will be something where they get taken over by a company that runs more efficiently, maybe doesn't have as crazy of things in the crates, right?
Yeah.
But is profitable. I mean, there is a chance that this could be turned around. And because it is a good idea. I mean, there's a lot of people that are interested in this, but it has to be something that's profitable. They have to be looking at how much we had to pay in taxes, how much is this costing us in all these different areas. And it looks like they weren't keeping up with that. Yeah.
USA of Zombie, who actually does some online sales of physical products, says LootCrate should be a minimum of $50, not $25. That's the problem with something like this. If anybody that's ever bought or looked at selling anything on Etsy, it's a very similar thing, right? These things are cool, but a t-shirt, a pair of socks, a poster, and a patch is not worth $50 for most consumers. Is not worth it. So this is this constant, and I don't believe these prices have fluctuated a whole lot. This is the age-old price that people are willing to pay versus what we need to sell it for to actually make any money.
Well, and look at Netflix, though. Netflix has done this several times.
Oh, where Jesus, it's
their
awful.
prices have changed. They drop a bunch of subscribers. People get pissed. But for them, it comes down to the contracts and things they have to pay. And so you can't just keep at the same price. And I get frustrated, when they raise the price. But it's better than them going out of business.
Yeah, you want to watch Friends or The Office on Netflix, you're gonna have to pay more because I'm sure because NBC Universal, I think, owns both, is charging Netflix up the ass for the licensing fees for those because they can, and people want to watch them. So I mean, and then plus all those damn exclusives that they make. I mean, that's it. It's the age-old problem in business. So you're right. This is totally out of left field. I haven't heard anything about LootCrate in years. They've just been not on my radar.
All leading up to this was the fact that Firebomb kept saying they're not sending me my crates.
Yeah. And you assume maybe that's a shipping error, just something in their system. He drops out of their CRM and he's not seen as an active subscriber. I mean, glitches do happen. But no. Turns out maybe not.
Down to this.
Yeah.
So, so that's LootCrate. If you have a LootCrate that aren't getting to you, hopefully that will change with this other company kind of coming in and helping some. So
yes, sir.
Epic news.
Disclaimer. Yeah, we get paid many, many thousands of dollars a month by Epic to only talk about them in a positive light. So any story you hear on this show is always positive. Go ahead, Brian. What do you have to talk about?
So there was a Fortnite data breach.
No, that's not positive. Hold on. Don't talk about that, please.
Oh, is that the wrong one? I'm going to go to the next one.
Yeah.
So so earlier this year, they had a data breach. And we put a link to an article, and it actually goes through in a lot of detail of exactly how people were using this to pretty much bypass authentication.
Is this one of these? This is DayZ.com. Is this? It's a class action lawsuit company.
So what they're doing is there's a class action lawsuit forming.
Oh.
And so they're wanting to find people to join in on this class action lawsuit, which I can't imagine you're going to get a lot of money. I
don't know, man.
You may get a penny though.
Yeah, it'll be like the Equifax. You apply to get your $125, so you end up with a 37-cent check from from them.
Yeah. So what was happening was these hackers were upgrading their version to the purchase version, and then they would get codes for free downloads of the standard edition of Fortnite, which they can sell for about $40. So that was how they were making money on this, was getting into their accounts, upgrading them to the version, getting these $40 ones, and then selling those online on things like G2A and things like that. Also they probably were selling these passwords that they got through password dumps. So they have email accounts and password combinations that people were then using to get into these accounts as well. So
look at this though, Brian. For our audio listeners, we'll try to explain this. So that they have a little diagram here of what happens. So an attacker sends victim. So this is what you see. Like somebody on Steam will send you a, check out whatever.
Free V-Bucks.
Yeah, free. Exactly. That'd be great. Free V-Bucks. So you are the victim. You click on the login page. The login page, Epic is making a token request to your provider. And apparently Facebook and Google Plus were the problem. And
because those are accepted authenticators, or they were.
Yeah, but there's a whole bunch of other too. There was Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, Facebook, and Google, I guess, were the problems. And the attackers were the page was redirecting to an attacker's malicious page. Google and or Facebook's authentication was sending the verification token to the malicious person. So they weren't getting your password, but what they were getting was your token to access the account for a period of time. It's not the password, it's your authentication token, right? If you've ever logged in on a website, you'll see the navigation bar will kind of flash maybe 3 or 4 times really quick with long strings of text. It's a token. It's essentially a password, but it's way too long for anybody to remember. So it's a security token. That's how it works.
So and that's why they were doing the purchase to get the free versions of the game. Rather than trying to really sell your account, they were just making it to where they could get items that they could then sell based on your account.
Good
if you
scam.
Had, for instance, if you had a credit card attached to your account, they could then purchase things on your account. And it's hard to really transfer things out of that, right? But they found that if they purchased this one package, it gave you free copies of the regular game. They then sell those free copies, or the additional copies they gave you.
Yeah, this is a pretty. This looks like a pretty advanced thing that they were doing here with this. essentially grabbing the token because Facebook and Google weren't checking where the landing page was. Pretty intense.
Yep.
So, so what's going to happen with this? I mean, obviously, Epic doesn't need any bad news. But so what does Epic say about all this? Do they say that they know that this happened? Are they challenging the claim? What's their kind of status on it all?
So what they're doing is, first of all, they do acknowledge that this happens. They said, we're watching this to make sure that no password dumps or anything. They've reset passwords for all the accounts just to make sure and be safe. They also are working to make sure, with their fraud stuff, they're working to make sure every single account gets refunded what they need to get refunded. And also automate the process for checking the accounts database against the password dumps to get online. So that way, if a password dump happens, they then are able to detect that immediately. But the biggest thing they did right after this was they enabled multi-factor authentication for all accounts.
This should have been required moons ago.
Yeah, the second you add a credit card to your account, they should have enabled.
Twitch does that.
Multi-factor authentication. Yep. So I think they've learned their lesson on that as far as, all right, because if this had multi-factor authentication already enabled,
wouldn't have worked.
This wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have been able to do the purchase. They wouldn't have been able to continue the login.
I like the idea that you just said. If you have a credit card, because if it's an account with nothing on it, I may make the argument that having two-factor authentication,
you really have nothing to lose.
Exactly. You're going to lose your level if you get hacked, which is low likelihood anyway. But if you have a credit card on an account or a bank account, absolutely two-factor should have been required, which is what Twitch and a whole bunch of other services do. The second you have a payment method, or you can, Microsoft and Sony don't do this, which is insane to me. But there should be two-factor authentication if you have the ability to purchase something through your account.
Yeah, if they did this to me, PH is pointing out they would buy all the Unreal Engine assets. I would be screwed. Max out my credit card with Unreal assets. Not that they could sell them.
There's worse problems in the world.
I'm like, oh, hey, great.
Yeah. Oh, hey, assets.
You're gonna refund, but leave all those in my account, right?
Oh, you got the download. You got the download. What are they gonna do?
It's linked to my account. I don't want to put you through extra work. Just refund my money, and I'll be fine.
Yeah. Hey, once you have the assets downloaded, they're on your computer.
I don't think that's legal, but if you were affected by this, let's say you did have an account that did have something purchased on it, you could probably get into this class action lawsuit. I don't know if you'll be able to really prove without any kind of proof of loss. I don't know what this will do, but they're trying to gather people together to be able to do this.
Yeah, and really the people that are going to be affected by this are people that believe they had malicious purchases done on their account. Now, I don't have a credit card. Well, maybe I do. I don't know. I've never purchased anything on Fortnite. How about that? So I don't have. Actually, that's not true. I better go back and look. I did purchase 1 or 2 season passes.
So you'll have a credit card on file.
I absolutely need to go look and make sure there were no other epic purchases. I might be entitled to compensation, Brian. You were someone you know. I can't wait to hear these commercials on the news.
Did your child blame a Fortnite charge on someone else? You may be a victim.
You may be entitled to compensation. Call the law practices of DayZ and Associates.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting. We should do that. We'll sketch for next week. We'll do we'll do our commercial. So class action lawsuit. There'll be a link in the show notes if you want more information. Infection podcast.
Yeah, PH points out all the kids that are stealing their parents' credit cards can now blame the hackers.
Oh no, Mom! I told you it wasn't me that bought $7,000 worth of Fortnite.
They
skins.
print out this article. See, Mom. See.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry I accused you, son.
Oh, here's another $7,000.
20 more V-Bucks.
More V-Bucks, yes. Oh, here's a Mixer subscription. Hey.
So here's something else that has happened also with Epic is you remember that teenager that won that world championship? They got what, 3 million?
Yep, wasn't a streamer, wasn't a big streamer, wasn't part of a legitimate pro, like a big pro team, just a totally random dude.
Yes, and he ended up getting swatted live on stream this past week. So the joys of being famous. And that's the thing. Coming into this, he does. So a lot of the streamers do a lot to hide their home addresses. I mean, once you start to where the trolls get on you, people like Boogie, for instance, I know I've seen him mention that he does a lot to make it so that people can't find his address, like his house isn't under his name and all these things. And that's kind of a frustrating thing with this. I'm assuming he wasn't expecting to win this and all of a sudden be famous, but he ended up being that. So he is now having to worry about this, and so he did get swatted. I'm assuming he can go to the police department and say, "Hey, if this happens again," because streamers usually will do this. They'll coordinate with their local police station and say, "Hey, if you get a call, put me on a list to where I'm not crazy. You can come and interview me. You can do whatever you want, but do not swat my house.
I'm not killing my entire family." Yeah.
I'm not in there killing my entire family. I'm 16 years old.
But he is a video gamer. We did learn that video games do cause violence. Yeah.
Wait, there's another article that came out that I didn't post in here. That
well, good. I have no reason to talk about that anymore.
So, all right. So that's our epic news. Now, to keep this fair and balanced,
and we got to bash Valve
news. We have some Valve news as well. So
the greatest place ever. Hold on.
Yes.
Stop. No, I got to cut you off. The greatest store ever, and the only store that should be allowed: Steam and Valve. Continue.
Yes. Okay. So researchers found a really bad security loophole that Valve pretty much said, isn't an issue initially. But what it does is it provides a link to Steam that the Steam thinks it needs to run, even though it doesn't realize, it could be a virus, a keylogger, a botnet, whatever, and it runs it as system. So it's pretty much it is elevating the rights of whatever being run, and it runs that as system and bypasses all the normal things that it shouldn't be allowed to do. So this was something that someone was able to do, and I think now Valve has acknowledged that this is a bigger issue. So this is Bleeping Computer did a post on it. But it's a privilege escalation is the name of the type of vulnerability it was.
Let me ask you, that's considered a 0-day exploit, isn't it? When you have something that allows system when you're
it just depends whether or not it just depends whether or not it's been out and had a chance to be resolved yet. So with this, initially it was. I mean, Valve didn't do anything about it right away. They didn't take it seriously. That PH is saying maybe they didn't receive the report right away. But
I'm definitely sure if they received the report and then this article came out, they would say, "Oh yes, we received the report and didn't do anything about it." I find that they're not going to be truthful about that. Now, I'm not saying they did or didn't receive it, but come on.
Yeah. So what they said. So it said the company that owns said program decided to shrug it off at its discovery. So that was what the claim of this. The people that reported it said that Valve shrugged it off. Whether or not that's exactly what happened, but this is a pretty serious issue. I mean, the fact that they were able to run things as system from a link, of Steam link.
Well,
that's not a good thing.
Apparently, this website HackerOne that Valve uses for submitting security exploits said it wasn't an issue. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, that still falls on Valve's hands because they're allowing a company. I mean, they're not checking these things.
Well, and they said so. What HackerOne has said is they're going to reopen this bug report for further investigation.
I mean, here's the thing: Valve hires a company or contracts with a company to find their exploits. The company doesn't do a sufficient job. I understand it's that company's fault, but Valve is not totally on the clear here. You've got an incompetent group of people that are doing your bounty hunting for exploits, right?
Yeah. They're supposed to be verifying and making sure they're worth bothering to investigate. And they said this one wasn't, but obviously it is, because it definitely works. I mean, Bleeping Computer was able to go through and verify this.
Yeah. Apparently, this
So
is one of the biggest
it sounds
firms
like someone
out
just
there.
dropped the ball.
It
Yeah,
does.
It looks like just someone dropped the ball in handling this and didn't take it as seriously as they need to. When, I mean, there's what, 100, how many people are opening and have Steam open
100
at any
million
one
users
moment?
or something is what they've got registered.
I mean, that's the thing is, but you'll have like 13 million on at any moment. You know, that means that they have it launched. And those are the people that aren't launching it in offline mode. That's a lot of people. That's a big demographic to be able to attack. So,
yeah. Well, apparently Valve fixed it right away, which is good.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, that's good to go.
So yeah, so that was just something that popped up. Figured that'd be interesting. One thing that they did change this week is they're now requiring approval for workshop items for CS:GO, Dota 2, and Team Fortress 2. So that was something that they hadn't done before. I mean, you could submit things to the workshop and they didn't have to be approved. And now they're doing this to kind of combat people that are offering free skins and trying to scam people out of things by getting them to, subscribe and get something, and it ends up not being what it's really supposed to be. So I don't know if this is going to be a trend going forward, but these are things that they probably view as valuable. I mean, there's a lot of people playing CS:GO. The skins market is very valuable there. Dota 2, I've not played a lot of Dota, but even Team Fortress 2, like the hats and everything else, which have lost some value recently. But I think they're trying to control that a little bit.
Gotcha.
Maybe maintain the value of the market. And enough scams happen, it'll devalue everything.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So that's pretty much the Valve news for this week.
Okay. Do you want to roll through this stuff, or do you want to try to do some survival news and then come back? What floats your boat here?
We can do some survival news. One thing I did want to mention: Atlas, no update this week.
Oof.
No
update. Nothing.
Not a single update this week. Yeah, for Atlas, which is kind of new. Usually there's something.
Yeah, they're in the U.S. There was no major holiday this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, Brian. In the 2.5 years that we covered ARK on this program when it was being updated, I don't believe there was ever a week that wasn't a holiday, or that they had already said beforehand that there wasn't something in the realm of ARK news. Always something, even if it's the minutest fixed exploit thing that they would put in their notes. There was always something. And
that's why I put it in the notes, just because I wanted to keep the thing in there. But I was like, there was no patch. Like the current version has stayed the same for the past week, which is the first time that has happened. Now, maybe there's a reason why.
Big update.
ARK did a new announcement this week.
ARK did a new announcement, did they?
ARK is doing a new season pass, and they're doing new content. So we had mentioned this. I think I had mentioned it. All right, Atlas isn't doing so well. Their bread and butter is ARK. I wouldn't be surprised if they went back to ARK. Well, they are. So they're doing a new season pass with a bunch of new content.
Man.
There's actually a trailer.
Yeah.
So if you play that, there's some talking in it.
There is talking in it?
There's some. I mean, it's got stuff going, but
gotcha.
So you'll need the audio up.
And what is this called here, Brian? This is called Genesis, right?
Yes. So this will be ARK Genesis, and if you had a season pass before, this isn't included in that. This is a whole new season pass.
Wow. All right. So ARK Genesis, we'll show the video, we'll roll that real quick, and then we'll discuss further.
Where you're going, survivor, I cannot follow. Others need me, and your path leads beyond my reach. But I can grant you a fragment of myself, as a guide to find what is most important to your ultimate survival. Is it strength? Is it willpower? Is it empathy? The arrival is soon. The tests will be rigorous. They will be difficult. They will be deadly. Okay, they're starting now. Maybe not this one first. Hang on. There we go. Oh, how cute! Don't eat that. Really want them to
I'll tell you what, Brian, I feel like I just watched a damn Halo trailer. I mean, we got a little orb that flies around and talks to you, which would be Cortana. And
that's like a cosmetic pet, which is kind of weird.
Well, and then there's a fighting scene, and the guy clenches his fists and like big old
and like things. Yes.
What were energy
weapons come out of his hand.
which would be energy swords in Halo kind of pop out of his arms. So okay, let's.
Now,
go ahead.
So this December, part 1 is coming out. A whole year later, part 2 is coming out.
I see that.
So, I mean, they're counting on this. I mean,
this is an
be a 2-part,
expensive ass DLC.
$35
for winter 2020.
And you have to own the game, and you have to own the game beforehand too.
Oh, of course.
So you have to own the base ARK, and then and then this is an expansion on that. That's $35 for the 2 parts.
All right. I'd like to have you invoke your tinfoil hat, Brian. I mean, so later this year, December 29th, ARK does not have the best.
It'll be January 2020.
They have literally the worst track record when it comes to this stuff. The only difference is they make a really kick-ass game and a really kick-ass product. So even though you're late and you're delayed, as long as it's good enough when it comes out, people really don't care. Unlike Atlas. So December 2020, let's call it December 2019, let's call it January 2020, and winter 2020 for part 2. $35 I'm supposed to shell out for. Now, you can buy the parts individually, presumably, yeah? You can't have a season pass for DLC you can't buy by itself.
Yeah, I bet right now they don't have the option to buy just part 1, so I don't know.
It's not really a season pass.
They're not promising anything else. Yeah, it's more of a 2-piece
expansion,
version.
Which is fine.
But it should be this DLC. It's not season pass. This is the Genesis. You're buying Genesis. But probably the thing that they're worried about is releasing this. People say, well, you just sold an unfinished game. I mean, I can hear it already. Oh, you're selling a game that's not going to be done for, it's not going to be out for a year.
Yeah.
Well, if they do a season pass and they claim it, they word it like a season pass. You'll say, okay, well, this is part 1, part 2, and that will allow them to kind of shrug off some of that criticism.
Let's look at a little sliver of the ARK community here. On this season pass, there are 206 reviews. Now, of course, it's not out. So the people that would be leaving reviews are people that have an opinion on what's going on with it. 96% of the 206 reviews are positive. And I just skimmed through a whole bunch of them. People just talking about how much they love the game, all the time they've put into it. So if we just take this little sliver of the community, I think we can extrapolate that out to saying that the ARK community itself is probably pretty happy with this. Right?
Well, and my thing that I view as a benefit is, well, for them working on this, because there is a pretty decent modding community and platform on ARK. And so if they're going to continue updating this and adding things, you see like this turtle that has a house on it. Well, that kind of indicates to me that they're going to be improving some things to be able to make that happen beyond the basic platforms for things that you can build a boat on right now. And so I think that this, if anything, this will bring in some additional things that you can do in modding and all that. I think that would be a benefit. I'm glad that they're continuing to work on ARK because it's one of the stronger moddable platforms that we have right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we see some pretty cool maps and things come out of that. So I think they've realized that's what people want. Atlas is not doing very well. I don't see Atlas having. I mean, from what we've seen, short of it becoming a single player type of thing, I think they're going to eventually just kind of fold it and put all their eggs into the ARK basket.
I mean, it would only make sense.
It has longevity.
Yeah, going forward with Atlas, there just doesn't seem to be a whole lot going on. It's just very interesting. We pretty much were told, not by them, but when they did their last DLC, weren't they the ones that said going forward, pretty much the only patches that are going to be out are fixes? Isn't that pretty much what we were told?
Well, yeah, we were told that those were the DLCs. Like, there's only going to be 3 DLCs.
That's
what
it.
we were told.
Yeah,
and that's what that season pass was for. So obviously they realized, and they wanted to make sure not to say, "Oh, this is just a regular DLC." The reason they're not selling a DLC is because then it would have to be under the season pass that they sold before. So that's why they're selling only the season pass.
Now I can see that being a little scummy.
Yeah.
Not that it's not worth it. Not that.
I mean, they need to make money, so
they do need to make money.
Why
Brian,
they're doing it?
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, damn it! If you're going to sell me a season pass, which to me means all future DLCs for the game are free,
because that's what they claimed.
Well, I mean, that's what a season pass is. I mean, that's what it is. So that part kind of rubs me the wrong way, and frankly, they do deserve some criticism over that, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I get it. You have to make money. I bought the game once. I didn't purchase any of the DLC. I played a crap ton of it, but that's not my problem.
Yeah. Well, I think they're just trying to recover. I think they didn't think that they were going to have to do any more with ARK.
Yeah.
I think they figured they were done. But when you don't make money on Atlas, what do you do?
Well, and frankly, ARK is the stronger game. I mean, even if Atlas was a smash success, it does not have the longevity of a game like ARK. There's too much invested. It's such a different game. I think they thought they were going to make the next World of Warcraft, and even if it was a smash success, it wouldn't have been anywhere near the level of an MMO like that. And
yeah,
we're here now. It's been 8 months, and the game is, for all intents and purposes, totally dead.
Yep.
Less than a year from ship to where we are, DOA.
And now that they've announced this, it'll be interesting to see how many patches actually come to Atlas. Is this going to be going forward very, very few patches, no real content? They're pretty much putting everybody on this new expansion.
If I were a consumer right now looking at Atlas, I would absolutely, under no circumstances, purchase that game.
Yeah.
Clearly their priorities are elsewhere, which is fine. I mean, you got to make money. You got to pay your staff, and you can't pay your staff on 400 people playing Atlas. So I get it.
But they really need to look at kind of winding down Atlas and being honest about it. Say, hey, we're going to roll this into a single player game if you want. I don't know that they should have to give refunds, but
no, I would not absolutely not give refunds.
But
I mean, projects and things fail.
If you own Atlas, we'll give you a discount on this new expansion. That would be one thing they could do.
Yeah. I don't like this whole refund thing, Brian. Things fail, right? I mean, everything you buy, sometimes things just don't work. I'm just not a huge fan, especially the amount of money we're talking about. We're not talking about $10,000 or $100,000. What was Atlas? Was Atlas $40 or $60? Or was it $30?
Something like that.
I mean, I don't even remember. So, they did
deliver a product. It's just
they did. It just didn't.
People just aren't liking it, and that's the risk you take. Now, for instance, I refunded Mavericks this past week.
A different story.
But that's because there's no chance I'm going to receive what I was actually ordering.
No.
Like, I never got to the point where I actually received what they were giving me. But with this Atlas, I have a game.
Yeah, you absolutely could play it.
But I'm choosing not to play it.
Because it sucks.
Everyone's choosing not to play it, and so they're not getting new sales.
Talk about that for a second. What happened with Mavericks?
So as far as the refund or in general?
With the refund. We mentioned last week that you were going to do that.
Extola, I think it was. I just sent a request to them saying, hey, can I get a refund? for this, which I purchased, which I'm not going to be able to receive the product from.
Mhm.
And the next day they refunded me.
Damn.
It was quick.
That was pretty seamless, pretty
Yeah,
streamlined.
I filed the ticket. They said you're assigned to this person. Then the next email was, we have refunded your purchase.
Good on them. That's the kind of customer support I like to see.
Yeah, so that worked out pretty well.
Nice.
And then that's good. So I can't get mad at Mavericks. I can't say they screwed me on anything. I was refunded.
Yeah.
It sucks that they're not able to produce a game, but everyone has the opportunity to do what I did. If you purchased the Forge, then you have the ability to go and get a refund.
And you
have
should
to go and do it.
Yeah. All right. So that's ARK. That's Atlas.
Do we want to announce the game giveaway really quick?
Yes, we probably should do that since we're already an hour through.
We're not sure exactly how far we're going to go in this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to be giving away a copy of I think it's Nari Tower of Shirin. You got to always love games that have crazy names. And this one, it's an animated kind of a cartoonish game, but and it's supposed to have a really good soundtrack. So I don't know for people that are really into those types of games, but it's an adventure indie, single player. It's got a bunch of story to it. It's a point and click type of adventure. Those are the kinds that I like. It's $10 right now on Steam, but it has a very positive rating. So if you're interested in that, ! giveaway in chat, and we will give this away before the end of the show. But this is a point and click adventure.
Yes,
supposed to have really good soundtrack and really good story.
That's the plan.
Yep.
Where do you want to go from here? Oh, I do want to talk about something. PAX.
Yes.
The schedule is out for PAX West. So if you are perusing through it and you come across something that you think is of interest to us, please do reach out. Don't assume that we already saw it. There's a whole bunch of news. We're getting hundreds of emails a day from people trying to get us to stop by and check out their game. So if you see a game, a company, a product, whatever, that in any way, shape, or form fits into some of the conversations we've had, please do either send us something on Discord, send us an email, contact@Infection Podcast, tweet us @InfectionCast, something just to let us know to keep an eye out, because we're already in our planning stages. We're requesting interview times. We're trying to get in touch with these companies. So if there's something that you think is of interest, please do let us know so we make sure it's on our list. Saul mentioned
Cyberpunk 2077. They will be there. We'll do everything we can.
Well, they're doing
something will be there.
They're doing
a playable demo.
Apparently a playable demo, but they're not on any of the itineraries for anything. So I have no idea.
We will do everything we can to track them down.
Yes.
We have done that in the past where we have asked people relentlessly. And
apparently,
what game was that? It wasn't 7 Days to Die. It was what was the other zombie one? The Forest? Was that the one that we worked really hard to try to get that interview for?
Yeah. Did we end up getting it?
Ended up being that they weren't there.
Yeah, you're right. We bust our ass for that interview.
And they tried. We had like Microsoft's
Sony
representative like back and forth looking for them, and ended up that they weren't there.
So I still have some Sony representative cell phone number. She gave it to me. She's like, call. Why do you got to turn into that? Jeez.
Just kidding.
We went back like 4 times, and eventually it got to the point where I was like, we'll just call you, like or whatever. It was like, you need to let us know if somebody pops up. Like that's what's going on.
Yeah.
They are doing a panel, a Cyberpunk panel, but we don't know how that works with press. We're just not sure. So we're going to do our damnedest. Cyberpunk is probably the biggest game there that we have talked about. Well, it is. Yeah. So we're going to do our damnedest to get I'll pull out all the stops. We might have to finagle our way into something, Brian. We might have to deceive and lie.
We might have to sell one of our people to make this happen.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Hopefully, maybe Green Man's accent will win over a representative somewhere. So we'll have to. We're gonna try.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So one thing, your favorite, a game that I know you love,
Minecraft,
is releasing a big update tomorrow.
Oh yes. Is this a game that I may have spent $60 on and was totally lied and misled about?
A game that is finally releasing what they have promised you of true multiplayer and a whole bunch of other things. So I don't know. Let's play the trailer for this, and then we can talk about how much we love this game.
You can't tease it like that. What game is this, Brian, that you're talking about?
All right, this is No Man's Sky, and the new expansion. So remember, they had Next was the expansion they did last time, and this one is Beyond.
Oh, spooky. So, all right, here is their trailer, No Man's Sky. Meh. I mean, cool and all, but I still don't trust them.
So what? Okay, so their multiplayer is, I think, 30 people in the same place at once. Is what it is. It's not like unlimited.
Oh, so it's not originally what they said. Okay.
Yeah. So now I think it's like 30 people, and how they determine who's in that place, because you got to think they probably have to be on your friends list or somehow linked to you, and then if they are, up to 30 people will show up in the same place. So you can make a group and all play together, but it's not like you're going to have, if you have 500 people in one place, you're not going to see 500 people sitting there.
Yeah.
So, but they do have now mounts in there, so you can tame and collect mounts. They added a bunch of VR, so it has VR support. So if you want to try it in VR, you can. But yeah, so this is their biggest update yet. So this will be bigger than the next one that they did. And this is supposed to have a lot of features, but it won't be, they haven't been put on a full list, but it is being released tomorrow.
Well, I wish this would have been released August 12th, 2016 when they originally announced the game or released the game. That would have been convenient.
So they do have, Hovercats is pointing out, you did have randoms. So in Next, you did have multiplayer.
This is Next.
But I think this is Beyond.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, you're right.
With Next, they did add multiplayer, but I think they're just making it to where there's more multiplayer and it's easier to group up with people and things like that. So you got to think this is a procedurally generated landscape. It gets very difficult with procedural generation when someone can destroy and change things to have a ton of people in one place. Because if you had 20 people all starting to dig in the ground at the same time, you have a lot of data going back and forth.
Yeah. So
there is a limit just because of the technology to do some of this. So I
don't know, Brian.
You have to decide whether you'll try it or not. I mean, I tried it. I didn't play it when you'd played it. I played it when Next came out, pretty much. And it was fun. But it would be something you'd want to play with friends.
Yeah.
Which the original did not really offer you as an option to do. So I know that depresses you. Let's talk about Minecraft.
It doesn't. No, stop. It doesn't depress me. It's just frustrating that I'm supposed to get all jazzed up because of this trailer. It's like I've changed. What I'm interested in has changed so much since literally 3 years ago. August 12th, 2016 was when this game first came out. I'm not even interested in a game like this anymore. Yeah. That's what frustrates me the most. Not that they're just getting to it now. I'm not being the crotchety old man that, screw me once, never again kind of thing. That's not my goal. It's just damn frustrating that at the time I would have loved to have all these things out, but they're not. They're not there now.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, they weren't there then. They're there now. I don't want to play it now. I have no interest.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah. I mean, there'll be an audience that will play it, but
yeah, of course.
But it's definitely not all the hype and all the stuff it had before. I mean, it was groundbreaking at the time, and I think it's becoming less groundbreaking over time.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Minecraft really quick.
Oh, okay.
They were supposed to be putting out what they called the Super Duper Pack, the Super Duper Graphics Pack, and they have ceased development on this.
Oh.
It was announced at E3 in 2017, to where it was supposed to have just way better graphics and look a lot nicer. But what they ran into were issues on trying to put this across all these different platforms. I mean, I don't know if this is a shock to them, but on mobile or on a tablet, you're not going to have the same graphics that you have on a PC. So, or even maybe they're running into restrictions between consoles.
Yeah.
So they couldn't get the same, and they try to have a kind of a unified experience across all of these. And yeah, they're not doing that. So they decided to pull the whole thing. So that so yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't just say, well, we're going to release it where we can. I mean, it's got to be to where there's a lot of stuff done for it.
I would think a whole lot.
Been in development for 2 years.
Yeah.
On a blocky game, I mean, you figured they would at least release something. So. So anyway, so that is not
freaking Microsoft
now.
You know why they didn't do it? Because they had to pay Ninja $100 million to stream on Mixer.
Yeah. That's
my damn story, and I'm going to stick to it. This is all Ninja's fault. Send your hate mail to Ninja. That's why we don't get super duper
Ninja
Minecraft.
at Microsoft.com.
Yeah, PH. Ninja killed Minecraft. Absolutely.
Which is crazy. They just say, we aren't happy with how the pack performed across devices. For this reason, we're stopping development. It's like, wait, it didn't perform well across all devices, so you cancel the whole project?
I mean, it's a convenient way to state it.
That's just weird to me. Like, okay, release it on PS4, Xbox, and PC. I don't need it on tablet, Switch, and whatever else low powered is.
Meaningless. They're clearly, there's either a bigger issue with it or they're just lazy and don't want to solve it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I just thought that was odd.
In a game like Minecraft, as late in its lifespan as it is it really worth what it has to be done or whatever? I mean, sometimes you realize, Brian, a project's just not worth completing, and this may be one of them.
Maybe they're finding that Minecraft's not bringing in. Maybe it's not bringing in a ton of money at the moment.
What's just not what it's not the in anymore. I mean, people just aren't talking. I mean, I don't know if you remember this as well as I do, but I mean, man, when I was in middle school, it was the talk of the town. I mean, and I'm not all of the guys except for the jocks and the losers were not. And some of us would fall into the category of losers. Everybody was playing Minecraft. Everybody, all of the dudes were playing Minecraft. We had servers. People were hosting servers. We were using Hamachi's VPN service because nobody knew how to actually host a server. So we were VPNing into a local game. I mean, it was in. That's what people were playing. And nobody's talking about Minecraft except for Joe in our Discord. Nobody else talks about it.
Yeah, and
people
the
don't play it
unicorn mod.
People just don't. I don't see people, and I'm subscribed to plenty of regular gaming channels that I don't really watch, but I'm subscribed to them because I did years ago. They're not uploading Minecraft content.
Yeah,
Except
Fortnite
PewDiePie, by the way, in the past couple of
Fortnite has
weeks.
pretty much replaced. Yeah, he's been streaming, and maybe that'll bring a little resurgence.
He's been uploading a boatload of Minecraft content, which is worth a lot. But outside of him, I just haven't seen it.
But that's the thing is, I think that Fortnite has replaced that in the people that age. It's a whole new generation, and Fortnite is now what Minecraft was to you.
It is, and it's just so much. It's just such a different game.
Yep.
So.
But that's what they're talking about. That's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, now a game that I have not purchased, and I've managed not to purchase, even though it's on the Humble Bundle, because it is $30 and not $29.98. DayZ has run into an issue in Australia, which seems to be the problem child everywhere.
I know, man. Every damn game between China and Australia, they're ruining the video game industry.
Yes. So they have said because there is a pot plant in the game, in a survival game, that they will not allow it to be sold in Australia. So DayZ is taking out the pot plants. So that is and they also, like, for instance, Fallout 3, remember when it was failing classification?
Mm-hmm.
And they went through and they had to remove the word morphine from the game. So in Fallout 3, they removed the word, which is a legitimate medical drug.
It's one of the most common medical drugs. Morphine is super popular.
But Australia said you cannot use the word morphine, and then they were able to clear the game and sell it. So
here's the thing.
This,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say on this, it has to do with some things that aren't even like normal things you pick up. They just happen to be, they're not usable in the game right now as far as an item that you craft or that you do anything with, but they want them to change it in the game so that it's not even in there.
This also happened with We Happy Few, if you remember.
Yeah. Because they had the pills and everything else.
Yeah, Joy.
That was probably much bigger for them to get past.
Now, I'm reading through these comments here on Kotaku, the bastion of gaming truth on the internet. They should fight for it. The amount of work and the amount of time and the amount of effort and, frankly, the bad publicity that they would receive fighting the country of Australia or the continent of Australia for this is not, under any circumstances, worth just removing the item from the game. You have to understand I understand from a principle standpoint, if you want to call it that, trying to be all oorah about this, but from a business standpoint with Bohemia Interactive, it just doesn't make any sense. There's just absolutely there is zero situations where dying on this hill is worth it. It's just not under any circumstances.
Have a pot plant that sits in the game that's not usable.
It's not a cornerstone of the game. So instead of arguing back and forth with the ridiculous rules in Australia about video game content, just delete the damn thing and be done. And that's what they're going to do. And that's what Fallout did. That's what We Happy Few did. That's what they're doing now. It's just not. It is not worth the battle. It's cool for us to say they should fight for it, but it's not. It's stupid. It makes no sense.
But the kind of the downside of this is that it affects all the versions because they want to have the same game between Australia and the United States. So they're going to affect the base game, not just the version that Australia receives. They're going to do the whole thing so that not that I care if there's pot plants in the game.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But you know what I'm saying? But that this goes to other areas. It's just kind of frustrating that they're not using a lot of common sense. This is a post-apocalyptic video game where you're killing people. Not everything has to be 100% good or realistic.
Yeah, but you make a very interesting point. This is a game where you are, as you said, literally murdering people, and that's fine, but the pot plant is...
But having a pot plant that just sits in game is what's bad. That's just what doesn't make sense to me. It's like the whole world has ended and we're talking about this, and there's zombies and people walking around that aren't dead, yet you're worried about the pot plant that's somewhere in the game.
Well,
which very realistically could happen.
Shows the agenda of Australia's politicians, I guess. I mean, that's kind of it. That's what the grand worry is. I mean, hey,
I'm sure that this will be corrected here pretty soon. I mean, DayZ's probably removing it from the code or changing the plant to something else. It's not that hard for them to do.
Absolutely not.
So,
interesting.
Other than that, we just have a few more. First of all, ROE came out with an update, but they do have a trailer because this update is for their season 5. So this is their new season 5 update, which actually has some decent map updates that they'll talk about in here.
All right, this is I'll get this queued up here. All right,
and they have the new thing called battle cars in this, which I think is going to be more of a game mode.
All right, here we go. This is ROE and their new season update.
Big changes are coming to Europa Island. The rebirth of a concept. Vehicles beyond your imagination. Welcome to the era of battle cars.
All right, quick update there from ROE. Some pretty cool stuff there.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're adding in, of course, they got new skins for characters, but going in and adding these vehicles into the game that you're able to customize and to upgrade during the play.
What is that game? Oh, geez. We've played it. It's a car. It's not like this, but you customize your car and... No, I'm not thinking of RoboCraft.
Okay.
Damn it. Ross plays it all the time. Damn. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. But there's another there's a game that has got similar thing. You customize your car, you attack things. It's kind of neat.
Yeah. So they've got all these different various types. Of course, they had that new landmark that they put in as well, the hospital. So they're still working on this thing. And they're really consistent about putting out updates, and they put out high quality updates.
It's Crossout. Yes, that's the name of the game. Crossout. I kind of got a little bit of a crossout vibe. But it's funny though, because Auto Royale is something that H1Z1 did, and I don't remember if it is or isn't in the game currently, because they've taken it away and they've removed it and added it in a dozen times, and it was actually fun. We played it a couple times. It was relatively fun. The idea
of not to save the game, but
no, the idea of, for somebody like me, Brian, who's not a very good player, an auto royale mode is very forgiving, because the finesse of single player one-on-one or whatever, one on a group, just is kind of gone. I mean, you're shooting at a big old target, a car, a tank, something. A lot of the precision is gone, which is convenient for somebody like me who sucks. So these modes are always a lot of fun.
Yeah. So we'll see if that takes off. I mean, I haven't heard that their numbers are really struggling or anything.
No.
But I think they want to keep, and they're probably really big in Asia. I mean, a lot of this is based out of Asia. But I'm assuming that they have some pretty good numbers there.
I would say that's probably the case.
I've seen more streamers playing Apex lately.
I've had an itch for Apex.
They put out some additional updates, but they've done they have their Iron Crown event that's going to be going from August 13th, so today, through August 27th, and this is going to be solos. So they haven't done this yet, but now they're going to be having some solo modes.
Nice.
Where you can go in there and not have to do a group, because that's one thing, if you notice about Apex, is you always had to do as a 3-man group. Remember correctly?
Yes, 3-man groups.
Yep. And then they've added a new town on Kings Canyon. They're doing double XP for the top 5 and wins weekend, so you can get leveled up even faster. They'll have a special collection event Apex pack and Iron Crown event store, so you can go and purchase that. They have the Bloodhound Heirloom set preview, exclusive event challenges with free loot that you can do for this, and then a bunch of bug fixes. So they have much quality of life and various things that they're improving. So that if you want to try out the solos and do all that, that starts today. So you should have received an update, and you can go in there and start playing that through the 27th.
I actually, Brian, I'm going to be honest with you. This is no shtick for the show. I was out of town over the weekend. But when I was away, I was like, you know what? I really would like to play some Apex. And I didn't have a chance yesterday, but today I saw that there was an update, and I updated it. I didn't know what was in it until I looked through the show notes. But yeah, I think I'm going to jump in some Apex.
There you go. Yeah, it'll be fun to try it out and see if you can get some of the special stuff for it as well that they're kind of doing for this event.
No particular reason. I played it a couple weekends ago with our buddy UGX Vibe, and I got 3 kills in our first game. I was like, oh man, this is nobody likes being bad. And these other BR games, I've been very transparent about this. These other BR games are just way too much for me. I just can't do them. I feel like an old fogey talking about it, but I just can't. I'm just not good. And for some reason, I've always been I can always hold my own at Apex, at least some of the time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll update mine, and we'll give it another shot. Maybe have people jumping in solos. And just
I'm ready. I'm going to play all day tomorrow. That's what I'm going to plan on doing.
All right.
So there you go.
So Apex, make sure if you have this, go and update your client and give it a try. And that starts today. So by the time you're listening to this, it's already running.
It's about time that we get the scoop on an event. Props to the EA folks. It's always
on the day the day of our show.
Late. Yeah.
Yep. And then Scum put out an update. So one thing they've done is they have on here some base building parts. So they have what they call the murder hole, which is a hole in a fence that you could go up and shoot people that are coming up to your gate. They have various signs, some options that they've added, and of course a new comic, which seems to be much more detailed than the one last time.
Let's take a look. Hold on. Let me get this open here. Oh, wow. We've actually got some words on this one. Who is that?
So this one's...
Wow. Even this one is
human
still...
asset.
Even this one is
Scum Island. So I'm wondering, remember how I said I think this might be towards the tutorial? If you look at the text on there, it says, welcome to Scum Island tutorial protocol provided. So I still think that this is going to step you through the initial parts of the game.
Interesting way to do it. It's weird. Sometimes I'm all in on the comic thing, and other weeks I'm like, I just can't deal with this crap. Maybe they deserve a little more credit for trying something out of the box. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, if they integrate it to where it kind of moves it forward and you feel like you're understanding the story some, whatever it takes to make them do that.
Yeah.
then I'd be fine with that. But we'll see. Let's see it. I don't know if I really like the fact that they're piecemealing it out right
Yeah.
now.
I mean, so like your required literature for the game is going to be like 3,000 images of comics.
Yeah, they just need to be careful to kind of narrow it down.
Yeah.
And then there was a hot fix that they put out as well today. So it's just fixes, a list of fixes. So nothing to show for that. And then Jaws of Extinction, they put out an update as well. And so I don't know how many people are really following that, but they have not. This is not released, right? They're still not saying to go out and purchase this game.
Hidden on the Steam store search.
Yeah, it's hidden to where you can't find it because it really, like Nick and I found, there's no multiplayer yet.
Not good.
So I think it's smart for them to turn around and not really push this game until they have multiplayer in the game itself.
Yeah, I would agree.
So I think that is something that for them is the safest bet, is just to kind of hold off and keep putting about updates for the people that are really into this and want to have information on each thing. Keep putting out that information, but it's definitely not in a point where you'd say, "Hey, come check out my game. Here you go. This is ready to go. What do you think? Review this." Don't ask for reviews right now.
Where do they stand on reviews? Let's see. Mixed. It's only got 54 reviews. And half of them are... No, actually 62% of them are positive. Interesting.
Yeah, and then that's the thing is I think them keeping it silent is the best course of action that they could be doing right now, because, I mean, if you look, they're not getting review bombed because people that do have the game do understand that this is... It's definitely in testing mode right now. But if they were trying to sell this in public, I mean, just imagine how many negative reviews they would have.
Yes, I agree with you totally. But there's a limited time frame on this, right? There's only so long that you can be under the rock radar with an actual released product before people just don't even care when you release it. Right? There's a time frame. You can't.
Well, I mean, okay, look at Dead Matter. What have we heard about Dead Matter? Let's take kind of a similar type of thing, two different approaches. Dead Matter will once in a while release videos.
Mm-hmm.
The game is not out to where you can actually play it at all, and they promised Dead Matter coming up on 2 years ago, or was it a year ago?
Mm-hmm.
When they were supposed to be released. PH is pointing out they did do an interview to where they're showing information, but there's no playable game at this point. These guys are kind of just keeping a playable game going in a similar way, but rather than just releasing information about that process, they're letting people play it. So I don't know which one would be worse.
Neither of them are good. I mean, they're better than releasing half-assed games, but there's people... Once somebody hears something about a game, and in the case of Jaws of Extinction, when the game is quote-unquote released because it is available to purchase, the clock is rapidly ticking for you to have your very playable, if not final product out there. That's the concern behind. There's a lot of lackadaisical nature with this, and I think that's a huge... I look at this, I say this game came out in May, right? So it's been out May, June, July, August. It's been out 3 months on Steam. And we look where it is. It's almost unplayable. Right?
Yeah.
How does that...
it was very lagged with single player local.
As you said, they've got freaking Unreal stock assets in the spawn houses.
Yeah.
So at what point does that change? That's what I'm saying.
But at least, I mean, the thing that I appreciate about it is that it's open, like, as far as here's what we have. With Dead Matter, I mean, I have confidence that Dead Matter is going to release a good product, right?
Yeah.
But we won't know until it's actually released, like very close to the final of the game. I think with Jaws of Extinction, I think we're seeing the sausage being made.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not always a good strategy, especially when it's so rough at the moment. It really depends on, are they going to be able to continue and deliver the product that we're wanting in the end.
Yeah.
That's still in the air, but it's still in the air for Dead Matter as well. Sure, they've got some good looking graphics, like it's coming together, but the question is, will they be able to actually deliver that? And as I said, I have confidence that they will. I'm not making any claims that they won't, but I think that these are both very similar. One we were able to go in and jump around and see exactly where it's at. The other one, we just see curated screenshots and things that they're working on that they're ready to show you. So I don't know that one is really anywhere better than the other one. They both could be junk for all we know, right? I mean, in the end, they both could just totally fail, or they can keep continually putting progress in these, and in the end, come out with a better product. Is one better because they're letting people play it and they're finding these bugs early? It's hard to say.
I don't know. I just think I don't know what I think, but I'm concerned. I'm just very concerned when I see games that are out for a period of time, and this is not towards Jaws of Extinction. This is not towards Dead Man. I'm just talking in general. Brian, when I hear about a game, Cyberpunk 2077, first, I'll give you a great example. The freaking Halo Master Chief Collection on the PC. We've heard about this for months. We were supposed to have a release date. It's supposed to be out already. I sent our buddy Musty a message the other day because him and I are kind of Halo buddies. I said, dude, where the hell is the Master Chief Collection on PC? When you hear about something, Brian, right?
Yeah.
And it's obtainable and you have a date or something, the whole sphere changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know at what point does the goodwill of we're either out but not listing ourselves because we don't want people to buy our broken game, or here's a whole bunch of screenshots and us talking on 9-minute YouTube videos. Where is the damn game?
Yeah, and I think that is the danger. Obviously these are both very small studios that don't have experience releasing games, and they're learning the process as they go. They may not release a game that's playable. I mean, as far as one that you're going to go in a store and buy, right?
Yeah.
You're going to go onto the PS4 marketplace and be able to purchase. They may not get to that point, but this may be enough to where they learn, and then the next title they make will be a game that's playable, because there's so much that they're learning in this process. I mean, these are people that either made mods, or there's a huge difference between making a full released game and making a mod for a game. And I think that is what they're discovering. And one, I think, got a lot more funding than the other. I think that's really helping them as far as to make it look better, because they can afford to have more modelers and all these things. But that doesn't guarantee that the game's going to be better. Because generally you can't afford enough coders to really fix a game. It comes down to the people that are there. Do they have the abilities? And I think that's what they're working on. Because we haven't really seen gameplay from, for instance, Dead Matter.
No, we've not. And frankly, the gameplay
we've seen a lot of scenes.
In the gameplay we've seen in Jaws of Extinction kind of sucks. So I'd make the argument that what is worth? What's the benefit of showing the gameplay if it's not great?
Yeah.
I don't have the answers to this, and
You're seeing the sausage being made, and that's what you got to decide. Do you want to see the sausage being made, or do you want to be pleasantly surprised with the end result?
Well, I don't have the answer, and I'm not trying to play the critic that knows everything. It's just what I question as both a host of this podcast, and then secondly is actually I'd say firstly as a consumer.
Yeah,
me as a consumer, what do I want? I don't know. It depends on the game.
People are much more picky than when these games were first announced too. I mean, that's kind of the downside for them. Is the issue is that people now, expect very different things than 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like as time goes by, people are getting all these polished games coming out, and they don't really want those indie games anymore. At least not right now.
Ross says, well, I don't want No Man's Sky or Mass Effect or Anthem. Huge hype games, in these cases, AAA that turn out to be garbage, worse than pre-alpha crap. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. Not that either of these games are AAA or have the budgets or are going to be No Man's Skies. Brian, the table of goodwill, I'm going to keep my head up and keep positive thoughts about the game, absolutely has an expiration date. And I don't think you answered the question because you don't know the answer, and I don't know either. Is it better to keep everybody behind the scenes like Dead Matter's doing, or is it better to do what Jaws of Extinction is doing? I don't know. We don't, and it's not a uniform answer. I just look at those two games that are relatively similar and say, which one is going to, maybe they both sink, maybe they both float, but my thought would be that maybe one of them succeeds, one of them doesn't, just based on the fact of the genre and what they are.
Yeah. And that'll be the thing is, I think there's a lot more flash in the pan style games nowadays, which is not good for the developers, because I mean, they're Scum, perfect example. Tons of work went into that. Tons of work is still going into it, and that thing lasted like a week or 2 weeks, maybe,
with its hype.
And it's like that game, I would say, is probably better for sure than Jaws of Extinction is right now.
Oh my God, that's not even a comparison. It's a million times better.
But if Scum couldn't do it, like, what are we expecting from Jaws of Extinction?
I would argue the exact same thing. I don't know.
So that is my concern, is if a game that visually is beautiful, mechanically works very well, but people just don't, they don't want an empty game. It has to have substance to it. And I think Scum has felt like an empty game up to this point, and maybe that's what they're trying to fix now, putting core story and content in there.
Zera's dealing with the same thing. Their recent reviews, Brian, are very negative. Yeah. Only 16% of the reviews in the last 30 days are positive. Same thing.
And that's the difficult part about releasing a game that then is piecemealing out content over time. People don't have the patience that they used to have. They're not willing to wait months for content anymore. They used to.
I don't think they ever used. I don't think they ever used to. It's just they didn't have choices. Now, now there weren't all
these other games coming out. Yeah, I mean, you waited because that's what the option was.
I mean, when I look at what I could play, right, in the next couple months, we're going to have this new ARK DLC. Rust is doing huge updates to their game constantly. I mean, There's just so much stuff. Cyberpunk 2077. There's just a lot of stuff going on gaming. The new old COD is coming out. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
PH says we now have 50 early access survival games to pick from. All of them are garbage, but we have choices. But then people play other games. They play Fortnite. They play PUBG. They play Apex. Play something.
Yeah. And the thing is, they'll try out a new game, but then they'll go back to all those other games.
Yeah.
They'll go back to Apex. They'll go back to Fortnite. And it used to not be like that. Before this whole BR genre, people would be like, okay, well, when's the next game coming out? Like, because you'd play through it, and then you wouldn't have that game that everyone fell back on. And now there's all these games that everyone falls back on. So you don't maintain. Like, once they uninstall your game, you're done. I think we're seeing that with a lot of these early access games. It's not a good time, I think, to be in the market trying to push an early access game now.
Miscreated is in the exact same boat. So is 7 Days to Die. The 7 Days to Die's got a decent player base, but they're still in the exact same boat.
But they're not selling new copies. I mean, people aren't, there's a certain niche of people that are playing 7 Days to Die, but I think it's very much a niche.
Yeah.
So,
well,
what do you do?
Talk about it on the internet.
Yeah.
That's what we do. All right.
You can have rage on the internet.
Yeah. So there we go. That's our gaming news of the week. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that pretty much covers it.
All right. Well, it's going to be a little bit of a shorter show today, not by a whole lot, but I'm not feeling great. Brian's just getting over a cold, so we're gonna call it a wraps there once we do everybody. Now, of course, just feeling a little under the weather, Brian. No excuse not to have current players and tip of the week. So with that being said, we're going to look at some video games and the people that are currently playing them. Let's take a look at ARK Survival Evolved, 39,121. The 24-hour peak, 58,010. And the 7-day peak, 70,151. Let's take a look over at everybody's favorite survival game, Rust. 44,469 people currently playing that. 70,301 is your 24-hour peak with a 7-day peak of 79,009 players. Pretty solid numbers over there at Rust. Let's take a look at PUBG real quick. Currently playing 101,359, the 24-hour peak. 719,913 with a 7-day peak. 756,114. And Atlas up, players up actually a little bit from last week. I don't know what's going on here. 2,517 people currently playing. The 24-hour peak, 3,417. And clearly, my number is wrong here for the 7-day peak. It is, I forgot an 8. So this should be, let's see, 4,518 should be the number. There it is. 4,518 people is the 7-day peak for Atlas. So even with those adjusted numbers, Brian, it's still nothing to call home about. Yeah. And with this new ARK, I'm not gonna call it DLC. With this new ARK thing coming out, it ain't looking good for our boat game.
Yep.
So
yeah, we'll see. It's not, I mean, the whole massive multiplayer thing just didn't play out the way I think everybody expected.
If I were a gambling man, I would not gamble on Atlas.
Yeah, I would not. Now, okay, here, one thing that I didn't mention, I didn't put it in the show notes, but they're going to be putting out the WoW Classic here in a couple of weeks.
Heard about that.
So this is going to be the classic WoW experience
that
everyone
WoW.
claims that they love.
Never played WoW.
I mean, this would be the time. This would be the better to play if you were going to play, because it will be. It's nowadays. It's so clicky. Like, just it's not a challenge, right? If you like to be challenge yourself in a game,
I like to win and feel good about myself.
I don't know if that'll work in this, but so there's a lot of people that are going to be playing in this, and it has all the old rule sets of taking forever to grind. All the old stuff that how it used to be is what they're bringing into this, and I think they'll do phases of expansions and content and things later.
I'm gonna have to pay for this though, right?
Yeah, so you don't have to buy the game itself, but you pay for the subscription. But you could go play some of the other. If you have the regular WoW, you know it's all under the same subscription.
Not free to level 20 or something.
Yeah, but this, no, I don't know if they're doing that for this. I don't think they're doing that for this. So Ross says, as a WoW player, what will the player base want once they've played the end game of vanilla? Won't it just turn to regular WoW if they do the expansions? This will be that's a good question, because where are they going to go? I think they're going to have a limited amount of, how far are they going to go with this?
Yeah,
because you have classic WoW, people are then going to play that and they're going to be like, okay, now we want
more
the
content
next expansion. How are you going to piecemeal that out? Or is it you're going to start having servers that are at different levels? You'll have the original WoW, and then you'll have one that has the next expansion, and have various servers that people allow. That's kind of what I'm curious of, is are we going to start seeing that? PH, he put out the content plan, and so I know that they have gone through and kind of said, so they have the classic launch, which is going to be Molten Core, Onyxia, Maraudon. Then they're going to be doing Dire Maul in phase 2. Pretty much they're doing various different raids through these phases. So they're going through 6 phases. But that's what I'm curious. Like, what are they going to do after that? Let's say that this is phase 6 is rolled out, and the people are on that for a year. now what? You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if they're going to reset it or if they've got other plans. Like, because I mean, this works for a short period of time, but then are they going to release, like PH says, the Burning Crusades? Which, hey, if they're stretching it out to where the Burning Crusades then becomes nostalgic like this, it would probably work. You know, because people, once they hit max level, they're only going to want to do the same raids for so long. They're only going to want to do PvP with all the same stuff for so long. They're going to start demanding the Burning Crusades. And I'm assuming at some point they will do that. Then they'll probably just roll it out over a slow period of time. So, I mean, this will be interesting. They're giving people what they say they want.
Yeah, well, let's see.
It will be fun. It's a challenge. I mean, right now, WoW, you roll through and you can just get to max level because of all the stuff the hand holding and everything that they've done with it. It's not the same experience. But this for me, this is what I remember WoW being. This is where it was fun.
Yeah, well, I would be very interested to see that. I'm gonna gamble that you don't think it's anywhere near as fun as you did when you first played it. It's in comparison, it's probably gonna suck.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
I've never seen a game that's done this. Have you? There's not a single game that's ever done this successfully.
No, it really depends on. It's just hard to say. I mean, I remember grinding through certain content. It took me a long time to get up to level 50 or whatever. I remember because I did it as a warrior, which is not the leveling master. I mean, it was as slow as could be, and I think I did all the content as a tank because I did, I was new, and I leveled up all the way to 50 as a tank, and now I'm doing it very different. Like on this one, I'll go through and do a PvP or a DPS class and like level up one really quickly. Now I know what I'm doing, but I don't think if I knew what I was getting into, man, that was a grind. We'll see if I'm interested in continuing that grind.
So what is this going to run me to play WoW? Be a real gamer.
So for 6 months, it's like $70.
Ooh, okay.
I think, something like that. So they have various.
Can I do monthly?
Yeah, you can do monthly.
Okay,
I think it's like $15.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll do.
So you can do $15. You could try it out for 1 month, see if it holds your interest.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it doesn't, then just cancel your subscription.
I like this. You gotta hold me to this. I've never played WoW, and it's the epitome of gaming is WoW, right? When you say that, I'm a gamer. You play World of Warcraft?
So this is the thing is, you go on here and you play with a group. I mean, that's what really made my experience. So if they can capture, here's the thing: if they can capture this, just like our experience in H1Z1, will they be able to get it to where, for me, going into this, what really pulled my interest is I'm running across random people on the internet and we're grouping up just so that we can get through content, and then we end up forming relationships that last for years. That was what WoW did for me. Now everybody knows that coming in. Will they be able to do the exact same thing? Are people willing to tie themselves to a clan, or willing to be dedicated as they were back then, to where every day you're logging in and talking to these people? So I don't know. Like, the WoW was magic back then, and the new WoW is not. Clans don't hold together like they used to. People aren't interested like they used to be logging in every day. If they'll be able to do it, people will find that interesting, but I don't know if it works the second time around.
Ross says, my lifelong friends and my career actually became of online games. And I can actually say the same thing, not because of games, but because of online communities, in this case, a podcast community, my career right now. And a good chunk
in this podcast.
And this podcast. And our trip to Seattle in 16 days. And
yeah, I mean, it's all very real. This thing is, I mean, I had people that I met in real life that I played WoW with. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I've met all you guys in real life now. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I was up in Raw this weekend, and I stayed with a guy that I met. I've stayed with him a whole bunch of times. He's the reason I'm down here working. I stayed with him and his family this weekend. We went to a concert. Where's the ADL writing a story about this?
No.
No, I'm being serious. I'm being dead serious. Where's the ADL and their bullshit reporting, why aren't they writing a study about this?
Yeah.
All the good things.
And
I'll beat this drum forever.
And that's what's made my experience, and that's why I do this kind of stuff is, I mean, the community, for me, it's been about communities. And I learned this in WoW. With WoW, I was able to build a very strong community of people that loved a game, and you knew about these people's kids. You knew everything about their life. Like, they were friends that were extended over the internet. Just like you and I, like, we know a lot of stuff about each other's lives.
Yes.
Right. And we're friends. And that's the difference is a lot of communities, they get to where it's very shallow, and they're all anonymous names, and they're all, fake pictures. And everything else. And there's plenty of like PHVCK who doesn't want anyone to know anything about himself. But that's one thing that if you can break past that and get it to where you truly are willing to know the person, I think it's much more meaningful. I know that's a risk, but if you put yourself out there,
yep.
Like there's people that are Discord that are, like, for instance, Green Man. We're going to be meeting him in a few weeks in person.
He's going to be staying. He's going to be. I mean, he could
be staying with us.
He could be a serial
the craziest.
Killer.
Yeah. For all we know, he's from the UK. I mean, you never know.
They might try stabbing us.
But I'm saying, like, that, putting yourself out there and willing to take a chance.
Take a chance.
I think that's a big thing about these online communities.
Bingo.
So.
I like talking to people on our Discord and just chatting with them more than I enjoy playing video games.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of it. The community becomes the more important thing than the game.
There are very frequent times where I just sit in there while they're playing and just talk.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right. Well, as I said, we were going to end early. We have not ended early.
We've gone to the exact same time that we always do.
God, this is just a never-ending door.
Well, let's go ahead and let's roll into tip of the week, where either I give a general gaming tip or one for a specific game. And this one I'm going to do on Nick's favorite game, No Man's Sky.
Ah, jeez.
The week.
Just terrorize me, I guess.
All right. So one thing in No Man's Sky that is very important is that you go through and you start learning these alien languages. One thing that allows you to do is you can go in and, well, first of all, to gather these words, because you're getting words piece by piece, because you'll be able to go up and talk to an alien and you'll understand a few words out of what they're trying to tell you. And so you can go and you can exchange resources for various words in their particular dialect at space stations. You can go and find what are called knowledge stones, and those will allow you to learn more words. And then once you have enough of these words learned, you're able to communicate with these aliens that are at those space stations. So this will help you unlock various lore and things that are throughout the game, making it a little bit better of an experience. Another thing that is really important that you do in this game is you go and you scan everything that you come across, because you're going to need money and various resources. So you can scan all these items. It gives you knowledge, but then you're able to sell that information for new discoveries at various planets, and it'll give you the nanite clusters that you're trying to earn. So that is tip of the week.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Brian. I put up an image of the Sean, whatever the hell his name is, No Man's Lie.
Murray? Isn't it Murray?
Sean Murray, No Man's Lie. Lying. He's a liar.
Yeah. Well,
he's a dishonest human being.
He's 3 or 4 years delayed.
He's
delayed.
3.
3
August 12th, 2016.
Kind of promised.
I said, Brian, we're doing the podcast. I said, hey, I'll take a chance. I'll buy this game, right? Because at the point
you bought that one, and I bought what was the one that was banned in Australia again?
We Happy Few.
We Happy Few. I think that's the one I got.
Well,
and then
we
you
both kind of got. Nevertheless, it was at the point where there were so many games coming out that Brian and I were alternating purchases, because it was like we're both going to go belly up if
broke trying to buy every single game
that's coming out. I'll tell you what, boy, did I get the crap end of that stick.
No, I ended up buying No Man's Sky.
No, I'm sorry. Well, that's your fault. I can't.
Hey, I enjoyed the time that I played.
I can't shield you from yourself, Brian.
Yes, hey, it was good.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well, I'm gonna give
All
away
right,
my
we ready
Steam. Yeah, I'm
to-
gonna give away my Steam account next week with my No Man's Sky copy if anybody wants it.
Just to get it out of there.
Yeah, I'll just say it's hacking my Steam account. You can have it. Just take No Man's Sky.
All right, you ready to do this game giveaway?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so congratulations, USAF Zombie.
Hey,
And I will send you, I think I can just send it to you on Discord. I'll send you a link that'll let you redeem that. So
Yes.
congratulations.
nice.
So very good. All right, is there anything else?
No, sir. A couple weeks before PAX, again, keep your eye out. Keep your ears to the street. If you hear anything, do not, under any circumstances, assume we know. Send us a note. Drop us a line, please. Let us know that. And then once we get back from PAX, so this is going to be our schedule. We get out there Thursday. We are going to do some sort of brief pre-show, as we've done in the past, Thursday night. Quick little live stream. It's going to be late. For East Coast people, it'll be early morning, probably for our European listeners, but it'll be up on YouTube, hopefully. That's our plan. And we'll do a quick little pre-show. We'll go over some of the people we're hoping to talk to. We'll talk about any of our experiences getting there, traveling, if there's any fun stories with that. We'll do that. We'll head out to the show Friday, Saturday. We'll probably do our wrap-up stream, or kind of our what did we learn from the show stream, either Saturday or Sunday night. And then somewhere else in between there, we will hopefully do some type of board game live on Twitch. Or just, there's the idea has been passed around about some type of cooking competition or something of sorts. So
I don't remember what I said I would cook.
yeah, neither do I.
I know I said make eggs in the morning, but I think we had some sort of
No. There was like somebody, people were drumming up competitions that we were going to host. So we'll see. Follow us on Twitch. We'll post in Discord and Twitter of our schedule there. A lot of the stuff is going to be happening late on the East Coast, so you have to go back and catch the VOD. I'm sorry, but it's Pacific time. So, and we don't want to spend the good usual part of our day when we can be at the show or mingling, doing a live stream. So they'll be later on in the night, but that's our plan. That's our schedule. And our friend Mr. Greenman Cartoons is going to be joining us, which we're looking forward to immensely. I'm looking forward to meeting him. Yeah, we're gonna have we'll have a
His
real good
debut
time
on camera.
That might be true.
Yeah.
So there you go.
He never shows his camera in his live streams.
Yes, and then we're gonna do an RV trip. Good call, PH.
Yeah.
So there you go.
We'll peruse all the local pot shops and everything else.
Oh, I've been already perusing. I'm interested. All right. With that being said, Brian, where can people find you on the nets of the interwebs?
All right. Well, on Twitter, if you want to find me, @BoiseComputer, or my blog, biteoftech.com. And the best place would be probably to go to our website. And on the right-hand side there, click join our Discord server. And you can go there, submit news to us. And you can go and hang out and chat, play video games. If you want to get a notification before the live show starts, make sure you click join our Steam group. And that will, if you've joined that, pop up a little notification before the live show starts. We have our YouTube and our Twitch channels on there, all the audio forms. We have show notes for now, all 239 episodes of the show. There's a link if you want to go on the left-hand side for supporting us on Amazon and on Humble Bundle. And just make sure that if you have a Twitch Prime, if you have Amazon Prime, that you go and jump onto our channel on Twitch and throw us your free subscription. That really helps us out. That's helped to pay for all the stuff that we're getting ready to do at PAX. And it's really appreciated. And it's something that doesn't cost you anything extra, but just a little bit of time clicking that. So thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Brian. Appreciate it as always. No game of the week. We'll start that whole thing back. We'll probably be around Friday night playing something, but we'll start our official game service back up sometime after PAX, once everybody gets settled from the summer. So with that being said, I think we're good to go. Thank you, Brian, and we'll talk to you here next week.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, well, thank you for joining us here for another live episode of Infection Podcast. We're here live every Tuesday evening on Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube. You can check us out live, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can join the chat on either of those platforms, and we love to have you and interact with you there. My name is Nick Craig. You can follow me on Twitter @Nicholas M. Craig. Of course, visit our website. It's infectionpodcast.com. Follow me on Gab at Nick. A whole bunch of great content over there. That's going to do it for another episode of Infection. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next time.